when they were pushing this agenda through for this like inclusive LGBTQ, very, we're supportive of all people. Say we got to be woke like Winslow, because we had
Whoa!
already kind of paved the way as a small community to say,
Yes.
everybody is welcome. I just recognized that, oh my gosh, we really haven't had representation ever.
Yeah.
And the people that live here, we have a lot of Navajo, Hopi, and Laguna people that reside in our city.
Welcome to another episode exploring evolution. I'm your host, Amanda Zane, and it's time to remember your powers. Welcome or welcome back. The Remember Your Powers series so far has shown you how to wake up to your true power. So now I invite you to watch the prior episodes leading up to this one, because in this episode, we learn what to do with that power. Our next guest is showing us that to create the world conducive to a compassionate and collaborative way of life, we awakened citizens get to be that change and start leading or contributing to our community. Winslow is a melting pot community in Arizona, and more places like it are being created now that First Nation people, women, awakened men, and starseeds are stepping up. So to inspire your next step, may I proudly present Mayor of Winslow, Roberta "Birdie" Cano, first Native American and woman to lead the town. Enjoy.
So Roberta Wilcox Cano. So greetings. My name is Roberta Wilcox Cano, and I am Navajo. So I have been the mayor of Winslow for one term and just starting my second. So going on my third year as mayor of Winslow. I was born and raised here, and just had always known that Winslow had something special. Growing up, you live in a small town. I can't wait to get out of here. I can't wait to get out of here. You go away, you do your thing, and then you're like, I can't wait to go back home. So I raise my kids, have a life there. So I went away for about 10, 12 years. And once I started having kids, I said, I got to go home. My kids need to learn about their roots, their culture. And so the job I was in, I used to work for the Department of Corrections. I was easily able to transfer back to Winslow because there is a state prison here in our community. So transferred back in 2005, and things had gotten better. I mean, we had gone through a big not a depression, I'd say it, but a loss of business and things when I-40 came through and kind of ended the Route 66 travel experience for visitors that, would just drive through our town every day on a daily basis. So like in the 70s, 80s, and early 90s, our downtown area pretty much died. There was buildings boarded up. It was that quintessential, like our town was dying
So
feeling.
the Route 66 no longer goes through Winslow, or that's not part of an experience anymore? Tell
Well,
me.
it is. It's oh my gosh, it's such a comeback right now. But
Oh,
yeah, so
okay.
we still have Route 66 that comes through town, but travelers, when the Interstate 40 was built, would just bypass the town, and that was our bread and butter. The travelers that had to go through Winslow to get to the next, destination, either east or west, would stop in our restaurants, would come to our stores, would, just get that whole, Western experience in Winslow, where we had our trading posts and, just anything, soda shops, and downtown was lively. It was just bustling with people. So yeah, when the interstate came in, it's pretty much like the movie Cars. If you've seen the
Yeah.
movie Cars, that's literally what happened to a lot of our little communities in this area. Yeah. So
And I've
yeah,
noticed that the meteor crater that may bring people all the way to town, but the meteor crater is what, a little bit north of it, so they might
yeah,
not
it's
be
about 20
coming
miles west of Winslow.
west. Okay.
And but the meteor crater has been something that's been in our backyard, forever. So we, even though it's not necessarily in our county or in our city limits, we kind of feel like it's ours. We're the
Yeah.
closest major, community that would, be able to promote tourism and have a place for people to stay if they were very interested, which is amazing. I mean, I just went back there this summer. They did astronaut day at Meteor Crater, and it was phenomenal. I was like, I was like a little kid again. They explained how it came and hit, and it's just a really cool
So,
experience.
so you were really interested in that.
Oh, totally.
I went to the meteor crater and had a great time. I was kind of surprised because going into the area that you guys are in, there's the Navajo Nation, there's the Hopi Nation. It's such a cool multicultural area. I was half expecting to see, some of the Hopi star prophecies in the museum or something like
Oh,
that. I don't know if
right.
that's
Yeah.
something that's talked about, but um how much of the local culture can be infused, or are there still some blockages there?
Well, and so the Meteor Crater, and you would think it would be like a state park, or it's actually privately owned.
Is
So
it? Okay, that
yeah,
makes sense
yeah.
then, darn
So
it.
they kind of did their own thing and just really focused on the like NASA and more of a how it happened, and then just a different take on it. But in Winslow, that's one of the things when I ran. I knew that we were missing the mark with like recognizing our indigenous neighbors and the people that live here. We have a lot of Navajo, Hopi, and Laguna people that reside in our city. So that was part of the motivation too when I moved back, is that um, I just recognized that, oh my gosh, we really haven't had representation ever.
Yeah.
People that reside in our city. So that was part of the motivation too when I moved back, is that um, I just recognized that, oh my gosh, we really haven't had representation ever.
Yeah.
Ever. Um, the leaders of our council and mayors, former mayors, had always kind of been like middle-aged Caucasian men. And it just
Oh,
really,
surprise, surprise.
yeah, hello. um, but that wasn't the motivating factor. It made sense though that we would finally get somebody that could reach out and bridge those gaps with all of our whole community, because we do, and we have a huge Hispanic community, African American. We're actually a very well-rounded melting pot in Winslow.
I noticed that it was looking at some old statistics, even it was like equally split, like
Mhm.
30% Latin Americans, like 30% First Nation
Mhm.
people. Yeah, it's
Yes.
so amazing. It's a very unique place, and I've been drawn to that the city time and time again, and the outskirts are I'm a journalist for 15 years, but also a meditation and yoga teacher who's been studying with someone with a First Nation background and learning that's kind of harmony with the earth and feeling the earth's energy in the area that Winslow's in. It draws me back again and again and again. And I was wondering if you kind of felt that pull too, that it's interesting that it's such a melting pot, and then
Mhm.
it also has amazing energy in the earth around it. Do you feel like it's a pretty phenomenal place?
Absolutely. And I don't know, maybe that's why I did move back. I just had always known there was something special about this community,
Yeah.
and we are actually I believe beginning in the beginning of Winslow, when it first was incorporated and established, this was all tribal land. This was all Hopi land. And with Hamalavi and all of the villages, we're like right in this kind of triangle of all these sacred
Wow.
locations. And I always felt like we were sort of protected. So it was,
Good.
and my parents would always be like, yes, this is like the safest place you could ever be. And it feels good. Like there's an energy here that's just beyond what you can even explain. So
Well,
um
I feel
yeah.
the goosebumps coming, that's like a good sign in in
Yeah,
spiritual world. But even more than that, the tourism, because I did, let's see, 20 plus visits to Sedona and the surrounding areas over the past 2 years following, losing my job, a divorce, all that. We've all been through such hard times since
sure.
2020. But I love Sedona, and I often go to Sedona, but I always have to come to Winslow. So there's something energetically, and I just talked to the MIT trained scientist Pete Sanders Jr. I'm not sure if you've heard of him, but he does a lot of the vortex information. He's written a bunch of books, and he has a really nice scientific way to explain the vortex energy through, our logical mind. And then when you experience it, of course, it's very
Mhm.
experiential. But I wonder if there is something in Winslow just like that I hope people catch on to and go and experience for themselves. And then you have, the actual town life. Like, tell me how it is being mayor and working with so many communities, all bringing them into the one community. Does it feel like the one community yet? Have you managed to get that far? I know you have ambitions of that.
Well, yeah, I think that just having something change in our leadership has really sparked a lot of interest with our locals. And I'm not a born politician. I'm not I never was poised to go down this route. I
Can I
just
just say
felt
I love that about you and that you've worked your way up? I thought you had to be like a doctor or a lawyer or something. You worked your way up, like
yeah.
literally supervising the pool, the community pool, like working your way up. And then, how many years had you been doing that
Well,
until you got
so
mayor?
here's it just was one of those things that once I finished my career with the Department of Corrections, I started working for the city, and I did. I just kind of started at a very low line, position, and did work my way up into the city hall, and then I got to really see the inner workings of like our economic development department, and the inspector, and the city manager, how it all works, how it all comes together. And then I said, oh my gosh, I get it. I know why we're not growing. And it wasn't that anybody was doing anything wrong per se. It just was a different mentality of we're good, we're status quo, we've always survived. And there was never that push to get better. And that's the thing, it's just we can always do better. And so I was very motivated by that, and that leadership needed to change, and there in turn everything else would follow. And we are like on the cusp of just really expanding and booming and being able to provide like an amazing economy for our young people. For older people that are established and have made their life, it's great, but our young people move away. And
Yeah.
that's the same thing I did. I didn't have any hope to stay in Winslow. I mean, even if I loved it, I'm going to work at the railroad or Walmart, or there just wasn't a lot of options. um and I feel that that's the case with most of our young people today. So we are on the cusp of really becoming a really great city. And so I would love to bring the economic part of it with the cultural part of it, with the one thing that we're famous for, standing on the corner. So we have all these different components that could just be like, there's something for everybody. And I feel like Winslow is that perfect like hub to stay if you want to go to the Navajo Nation or the Hopi villages, for the day. It's kind of like you have four directions of adventure in Winslow.
Wow,
You can
four
go north,
directions.
south, east, or
That's
west.
special.
Yeah, and have a different experience, a different scenery, a different, just for the tourist aspect, it's like the perfect place to stay and do all of Arizona right from Winslow.
It
And then
so
in
is.
town you have like wonderful people, you have like great food, great music. We have events going on in the summer downtown. It's just, again, the energy here is just beyond what I think. People are catching on, and they're feeling it, and they're giving it back, like they're bringing that energy too, and people are very excited for the future
Well,
here.
that is great to hear, and I have to credit you with that. A lot of that because you came in and you believed in the town, and I think that's what I feel like a lot of at least feminine, leaders, you don't have to be male or female, but ones who want that kind of community feel and the collaboration, not just economic success, not just, this or that, but to feel like we are family and to have everybody winning. And I think that's really special that you could accomplish that feeling with how you describe the summer concerts and events and all that fun stuff. That sounds like a really cool place to be. And I'm wondering if you've noticed in yourself any fears that you had prior to coming into being mayor that you're so glad you didn't listen to? Because I feel like a lot of women can
Mhm.
see the potential in a place and just have those fears. Did you have any fears that you got over and are so glad you did?
Oh yeah, and because you are going up against like, this traditional
Yes,
same,
it's been the same for
there's this
centuries.
recipe for leadership in a small community, and it's not a Native woman that's gonna come and change it, and
Yeah.
so it was a very my first run was a very close race, and the person I was running against is a wonderful man. Like he had been on council for so many years, and so people were very torn because they liked both of us. But I think that what I brought was just something different in the representation. There's people who had lived their whole life in this community, and they're, I'm in a minority group, and they said they've never voted before. They've never had the desire to vote because there was never anybody who represented them.
Wow.
Or how is this person going to know me? I live here, I live there. And so it was, so a lot of that was just, oh my gosh, that was amazing. And oh my gosh, my family, my extended family too. I probably registered like 50 of my nieces and nephews, and I'm like, you're gonna vote. You don't have to vote for me, but you're gonna do this. Be involved, be awake, and if you're here, it matters. So yeah,
Yes.
it was challenging to kind of feel like I'm going up against this very set way of thinking, and it worked. It changed, and even our council, my whole council is younger, ambitious. We all are so very like-minded. It just seemed like it was the perfect storm of people coming together at the right time, and it just really it's trailblazed a new path for the future here in Winslow.
I have to give you credit because uh as women, and especially women of different ethnic backgrounds, we're told like that we have a certain role and that,
Mhm.
to be quiet, we don't matter. People don't think that's still a thing, but it is still a thing. So I have to give you credit for pushing through all of that, especially in your own mind and getting to where you've gotten. And I really feel inspired by you. And I think a lot of women can look at you and say, okay, she did it against all odds with, working her way up and with children and with all these things going on in the community that needed to be fixed. She did it. So we can do it. And I feel like if
Yes.
there's
Oh, I love it. Yes.
any advice you would give to women who are afraid to step into that leadership role? We need more women leaders.
Oh,
We're so
yes.
loving. And do you have any advice?
I do. I do. Well, first, I want to mention this last election, we actually have four women. The majority of our council now is four women. So,
Wow.
and for the very first time in Winslow, we have a female
Wow.
majority, and we have our very first female mayor and vice mayor. It's kind of on that track to having
Wow.
more female leadership. Which I mean, my male counterparts, they're all amazing too. But we should recognize the fact that there is a space for everybody, right? And
Yes.
so yeah, no, I would tell any other female, just anybody in any situation, you'll have a lot of doubt because you've always been kind of pushed in that setting, that role. You're just kind of supposed to hang back and listen and let the men figure it out. But if you
Yeah.
have the solution, and that's where I was at. I was sitting in my office at City Hall, and I was like, somebody needs to do something about this. This is like, it has to change. It has to change. And I would tell people, and they're like, oh, well, I don't know. Well, why don't you run? Why don't you do it? And then there's that moment where you say, if not you, then who? If not now, then when? So
Wow.
okay, I'll do it. And I had to end up sacrificing my career for it. I had to resign if I won, and here I am. And so I'm taking a little hiatus from my career to get some of the things done that I want to get done for Winslow. And I don't know if I'll stay in this setting for years to come, but you never know. I mean, things might pop up again where, okay, yeah, we need to tackle this now and make this
But
happen.
look at what you started.
Yeah. Yeah, no, and a lot of people would come to me and say, "Do you think I should run?" I'm like, "Absolutely. If you think you have a solution to change Winslow for the better, do it. There is nothing that's a prerequisite that says you have to be a doctor, have a doctorate or a master's, or I don't, I don't even have a valid like college education. I went in the workforce and then I became a mother and then a wife. And but I have passion. That's that I could say
Oh,
school of hard knocks, that's kind of that's my thing. And people, ask, are you going to go beyond this? And I said, well, it depends if I have a passion for something bigger. Right now there's things that need to change in this town for the better. And once that's accomplished, maybe I'll think about it. But I'm only focused on this community today and how we can succeed. So,
well, that's so
yeah.
interesting because in meditation, for example, they tell you that the best change you could do for the world is changing within. And then once you feel centered in yourself, you start to look around and, see how you can serve. And so it seems like a natural progression from, getting your own internal world sorted to looking at how you can serve the community around you. And I think a lot of us get overwhelmed with, who the president is or who's in Congress and the large scale decisions, but so much of our daily life is affected on that community level. So
Mhm.
what a great inspiration to, see how much you have done in your career and how the vibe has changed in your city from somewhere where they were like, I don't know what we're gonna do to, oh, let's just get together and enjoy
Yeah.
our lives and celebrate who we are and who we are together. That's
Yes.
really special.
Yeah. No, and you mentioned like bringing the community together. That's really one of my main focuses was that I knew, we missed the mark a lot. We had been missing the mark a lot of the time with our neighboring communities, with the Navajo and Hopi, and even just our people within our community. So I really try to make a point to focus on, when it's like Hispanic Heritage Month, or and try to do some big events for every part of our community,
Wow.
every group. And that even includes our Caucasian and, everybody. So it's not that I'm just it's just a matter of genetics that I happen to be the first Native person to
Yeah.
be the mayor of Winslow. It's more about everybody has a seat at this table, and we need to recognize every single member of this community, and they're all important, and their cultures are all important, and that's how we become this all-inclusive. Winslow is amazing.
Winslow is
Well, I was
amazing.
just at the inauguration for our new governor, Katie Hobbs, and the mayor of Mesa had just passed this bill about inclusion, and we had my predecessor had done this ordinance and things similar to that. And so their tagline when they were pushing this agenda through for this like inclusive LGBTQ, very, we're supportive of all people. They said we want to be woke like Winslow. So
Oh
we have
my
kind of,
gosh.
yeah, so we got to be woke like Winslow because we had
Wow.
already kind of paved the way as a small community to say,
Yes.
everybody is welcome here, everybody. And
That's
yeah,
so beautiful. And
I
oh, I commend you so much. That's so huge. And the fact that you just went in and did it from your heart, really, and your love of the community. I wanted to speak to the people who haven't been to Winslow yet and
Mhm.
who would like to come explore. And you mentioned being able to, go off to some of the villages around there, the meteor crater. Can they come to Winslow to get some inspiration on where to go and how to explore the other cultures? Because I know a lot of people in like yoga and meditation, they really see the value in the First Nation spirituality and maybe are a little nervous to go and intrude, so
Sure.
Winslow feels like such a great jumping off point to just go and just immerse for a minute. Do you have any advice for them on
Sure,
like how do we-
absolutely. Our Chamber of Commerce, it used to be the old trading post, the Hubble building. There is just an immense amount of resources and information for tour groups, or where to go if you're wanting to explore the Navajo Nation, and then just like kind of engaging with the community. There's
yeah,
so many people who will just say, "Oh yeah, you should go check Canyon de Chelly out, or this or that, or and the best day to go is like on a Wednesday because of this or that." Once you start kind of just becoming a part of the community here, you'll get all that insider information. And the one thing that Winslow has that I think that a lot of people forget about is, yes, we have all of these you know locations that you could, four directions of adventure is what I like to tag it as. But
amazing.
Winslow itself has beautiful things and wonderful experiences just within our city. We have the gorgeous La Posada Hotel and Turquoise Room. If you want a very fine dining experience, that's fabulous to eat there and stay there. If you're into trains, we have like about a train going through our town like about every 7 minutes. You know, we have, of course, our corner and the music and just a very lively, vibrant downtown experience. Food, drinks, all that. And the one thing that a lot of people don't really realize, and it is a part of Winslow, even though it's a little ways out of town, our McCood Park, Clear Creek. I don't know if had you ever
No,
been there?
I haven't been there.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so it's about 5 miles out of town. You go on 87 south and then Highway 99, and there's this massive body of water that is gorgeous. I mean, you're talking like about a mile long, and the water, you would, you worry, and Arizona's going through droughts and things, but this body of water has been so just blessed and full and vibrant, and it's kind of been a local secret for a long time, but a lot of people are catching on. They'll come and do stand-up paddle boards, kayaking, swimming, fishing. I mean, every kind of water recreation you can think of is in this area. And you go down way deep into the creek area, you'll find petroglyphs. It's just gorgeous. It's a phenomenal location. So Clear Creek is the name of the body of water, and the portion that the city of Winslow maintains and is kind of responsible for is McCood Park. And there's a camping site. There's ramadas where you can barbecue, and people swim. That's where I learned how to swim as a kid. I mean, we
Oh,
went there every single day. So yeah, next time you're in town, I will take you out there and give you the tour because it's
I'm so excited.
phenomenal. It's wonderful. So we really do have it all. We really do, as a place to come and visit, have it all. Gateway to the Navajo Nation, petrified forests, Meteor Crater, McCood Park, and then you can go to the forest. I mean, like I said, in any direction, you're gonna have different scenery, different experience. You could just stay in Winslow for a week and do Arizona. So it's phenomenal. Come over.
Yes, thank you so much for reminding me
Yeah.
of all those. And I didn't know about like the turquoise room and all
Oh
of that.
yeah.
Oh,
Oh my
that's so
gosh.
exciting. There is a lot, and the people are so amazing. And there is a reason I keep going back there and had to interview you. And then I just so much is coming together in this conversation that you are doing something that I wish other communities would replicate. And you know that it's going to catch on. If you have this much passion and people are enjoying their life in a place, it's going to catch on. So thank you for creating
Thank
the
you.
recipe, and thank you for speaking with me, Mayor. You are amazing. Thank you for your service and your light.
Thank you, Amanda. This was so fun. I appreciate you
Oh,
reaching out. And please, please, please look me up when you're in town, because we'll go do Winslow. Well,
Mayor
we can either
Birdie.
take it easy or take it to the limit.
I love it. You should make t-shirts. You are like the queen of the slogans.
I know, it's just
Woke like Winslow. I need that
woke like
t-shirt.
Winslow. Yes. So
Thank you
yeah,
so
we're
much,
we're we're
Mayor.
on the up and up. So yes, please everybody come to Winslow. You will not
Oh,
be disappointed.
You
And
absolutely will not. Yeah, put
we
it
made
on
some great
your list.
people.
I love that. Thank you so much for your
No,
time.
thank you. Okay, have a good day.
According to First Nation wisdom, water is nature's healer, and it's crucial to powering your leadership in this changing world. Water and Wellness in Utah is one place providing healthy water affordably and conveniently. Now you can enjoy 10% off by using our discount code Amanda is Love. And you can also find curated crystals, supplements, water containers there, and more. Visit them online at waterwellnesscenter.com or Water Wellness SLC on Instagram.